Welcome back. Just a quick update from the MCC. As you can see on the screen right now, we have made it through our cold pass and we're now working through the hot pass. The counter on the left-hand side is a little bit of a misnomer because it's really drop ready time. And I also did want to mention, you probably saw a quick camera feed that we had where the screen looked black. That's actually nominal because that was a live camera feed from the camera that's actually on the rocket underneath the payload fairing. You can see now this is an aft camera view from the drop. So we have, it looks to be a successful ignition of the stage 1 engine as we make our way to space. Like I had said before, a lot happens very quickly after drop. You can see here that we're actually getting towards the end of our stage 1 burn. Everything is nominal so far. We've had our pitch up on the bottom, on the burn time
Stage 1
you
throttle
can
down,
see
Commander.
on the graphical user interface if you do have that one up. We have made it through max Q alpha, which is one of the most stressful physical moments for the rocket, very comfortably through max Q. And then also through our maximum heat, aerodynamic heat heating. We have made it through MECO, our main engine cutoff. That is our Newton 3 engine shutdown, is reported as nominal. And if we can go back to our aft camera.
Fairing brake wire is broken.
We have stage separation. You may see dropouts in the data during the flight here. That is expected as we're switching between the different ground stations that are picking up the signal from the rocket.
Switching data source to the Nuki.
Now, as you can see, the trajectory that's being shown on the screen is no longer of Cosmic Girl because she is on her way back to Spaceport Cornwall in the UK. The trajectory is now tracking LauncherOne as she makes her way down the Atlantic Ocean towards the Canary Islands.
Stage 2 trajectory nominal.
Stage 2 trajectory nominal. That means our flight path is as expected, being picked up by those ground stations. We're probably almost coming up on halfway through our stage 2 burn number 1. On the GUI here, you can see in the center there, obviously the cool flame coming out the left-hand side. but you can see the fuel and the oxygen leaving the stage as it goes through the engine. Another really neat thing to see is the gimbal over on the left-hand side. The blue square with the dot in the middle shows you the position of the engine as it is steering stage 1.
Stage 2 burn nominal.
Altitude now is looking at around about 600,000 feet. Approximately 3 miles per second. Bus voltages for the batteries are nominal. You may have noticed that we had a lower voltage while we were in captive
Switching
carry,
data source to
and
Madrid.
that's because the power was being provided by Cosmic Girl at that point before we switched over to the rocket's internal batteries. Stage 2 burn is a little longer than the stage 1 burn, so this might take a little while for us to get to second engine cutoff 1. As I said earlier, there are points of the flight where we don't have the telemetry coming from the rocket because we are out of view of the ground stations. Our flight software folks have implemented a store and forward on our rocket, which means that when we are out of view of the ground stations, we are storing that data so that the next time we do come in view of a ground station, we can download it and
Confirm
and
target
back
lock
through
from
it.
Madrid. Data source switch to Madrid.
Our Madrid ground station has locked on to our rocket and is streaming the data now.
Confirm signal from Maspalomas, switching telemetry source to Maspalomas.
Newton 4 shutdown initiated.
You just heard the call for Newton 4 shutdown. Newton 4 is our stage 2 engine. So that is the completion of the first burn of our second stage. You can see along the bottom of the screen right now, our flight timeline has been updated to show the Cosmic Girl is returning, obviously, and then LauncherOne, which takes up the majority of the flight timeline there, is at our S2 cutoff, or our second stage engine cutoff. So now's probably a good time to talk a little bit about our rocket profile. Like I said, once we get to drop, a lot of stuff happens very, very quickly. what you might have seen is initially after the drop, around about 5 seconds or so after the drop, because we need to make sure that our aircraft is safe and out of the way, we fire what we call our propellant settling thrusters, or our PSTs, and they're solid rocket boosters that are on the back of LauncherOne, and they give the rocket a little push forward to settle our propellants for stage 1. And then we have that main engine start, or MES, for S1. And then you saw over, I think it was about 3 minutes or so, our stage 1 burn, which, as I had said before, does most of the heavy lifting, and our main engine cutoff. Separated from stage 2, and stage 2 has to do the work for the rest of the journey. We start our second stage engine, which is the burn that just happened. And during that burn, we separate our fairings. And what that does, it opens up the pointy end of the rocket, essentially, through ordnance firing. That opens up that section and exposes the payloads. We continue to fly under power on our second stage during that first burn, and then we'll have that cut off. And you can see the graphic on the screen right now. We again get to the coast, which is the phase that we're in right now. And we do a maneuver. We execute a maneuver called the barbecue roll. So essentially we are rifling through the atmosphere. And what this does is it avoids one side of the stage from getting too hot and the other from getting too cold. Our rocket is covered in a spray-on foam insulator, but this is a very standard maneuver procedure that most rocket companies execute. Once we've finished our coast, we will do a second engine start, so SES2. So we restart our second stage engine to lift us a little more, and then we'll cut off that engine, and after that will be our payload separation. And that's when we can start popping champagne corks and dancing. After payload separation, we do have a couple of extra things that we want to do here during this mission, and we will do a maneuver called the CCAM, or the Contamination and Collision Avoidance Maneuver, and then we will actually fire our second stage for a third time, so you'll hear calls for SES, or Second Engine Start 3, and then SECO, or Second Engine Cutoff 3. Once that's complete, we go into a phase that we call safing, and then the mission is complete. You can see images on screen right now from our Mission Control Center over in Cornwall, the UK. Take a moment to say how much we appreciate the folks that came out to Cornwall this evening to watch our launch. It is a historic day, obviously, for the United Kingdom, but for Eastern Europe as well. And we very much appreciate you all being here today, including those folks that have joined us on the live stream through YouTube. Thank you for being here and being part of this journey with us.